Thank you for watching another episode of Devar Malchus. This week, special episode in the month of Elul for Parshas Savo. This from the 21st of Elul, 5751 by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. We are at the top of page 179. Here we go. In continuation to the command in our Parsha regarding the mitzvah of bringing the first fruit to the Beis Hamikdash, Bikurim, and the Vidui Maser upon entering the land of Eretz Yisrael, and this with Moshe complete the explanation of the Torah and to dictate the mitzvahs that Hashem commanded him, which he began on the 11th month, on the first day of the month, on the other side of the Jordan River, on the land of Moab. Moshe began to speak about the general fulfillment of the entire Torah and all the mitzvahs and the covenant between Hashem and the Jewish people. Regarding this, for I have already completed telling you all of it, the book of the Mishnah Torah, Deuteronomy. Today Hashem, your God, commands you to do these statutes and these laws and guard and do them with all your heart and all your soul. And after this, guard the entire command. And I command you today, and it will be on the day that you pass over the Jordan River onto this land, and you shall erect for yourself big rocks, and you should write on them the words of this Torah. The Jewish people heed and hear. Today you have become a nation to Hashem your God, and you shall heed his voice, Hashem your God, to his mitzvahs. And afterwards, in the continuation of the Parsha, it speaks at length about the words of the covenant that Hashem commanded Moshe to make with the Jewish people. Talking about the stones earlier, he was discussing how Moshe wrote the Torah on 70 stones in the 70 different languages of the world. Okay, it speaks at length about the words of the covenant that Hashem commands Moshe to make with the Jewish people in the land of Moab, in addition to the covenant that he made with them at Mount Sinai, including the final words of the Parsha, and you shall guard the words of this covenant and do them, so that you will be successful in all you do. And this topic continues also in the following Parshas, Netzavim, Vayechel, Ha'uzinu, and Vos HaBrachos, where it discusses not specific mitzvahs, rather the covenant regarding Torah mitzvahs in general and general matter connected to this, since the command and covenant for the Torah and mitzvahs in general is written following the mitzvahs of Korim as one long passage. We may say they have related content as known, the accuracy of the aspects of the Torah, also the order of the Torah, and especially according to the explanation of Rashi that today Hashem your God commands you, you shall guard them to do them, in a blessing that comes for the fulfillment of the mitzvah of the Bikurim, which is discussed before this. A voice from heaven blesses him. You brought Bikurim today, you shall repeat this coming year. Furthermore, the covenant for the Torah, the mitzvah in general, is written in the same Parsha, the mitzvah of the Bikurim, and the beginning of the Parsha is regarding in this Bikurim, which the beginning of everything and even regarding how people talk, and most certainly in holiness and Torah leads to and has connection to the continuation of it. Now we must understand we must understand what is the relation between mitzvah of Bikurim and the covenant regarding the aspects of the acceptance of the Torah and mitzvahs. All of the Torah and mitzvahs, seeming Bikurim is one specific mitzvah among all the mitzvahs of the Torah, and has specific conditions and limitations in time, place, person, and type, specific in the land of Israel, in the time that the Beis Hamikdash stood, specifically from the 7 species with which the land of Israel is praised, and from the choices of them, specifically one who has land in the land of Israel and is praiseworthy land. The passage of Bikurim reads only in the joyous time for the Shavuos until Sukkos and more. What is the connection of this with today Hashem your God commands you, which refers to all the mitzvahs which Jews are obligated in every time and in every place? As the commentary of Rashi on the verse, every day they should be new in your eyes, as if the day itself were commanded to do them. We must also understand regarding the name of the Parsha, Savo. We have spoken many times regarding the name of the Parsha, that the name expresses the content of the thing which is called by the name. And based on this, we need an explanation regarding our Parsha. Savo means entering of the Jewish people into the land of Israel, which this is seemingly only an introduction and preparation for the fulfillment of the mitzvah of Bikurim and other mitzvahs which we need to fulfill after entering the land. And nevertheless, the entire Parsha, beginning with the actual mitzvah of Bikurim, including also the covenant regarding acceptance of the mitzvah in general in our Parsha, is called by the name Savo, which is nothing more than a preparation and introduction to the fulfillment of the mitzvahs of the land. We will understand this by first explaining the innovation of the mitzvah of Bikurim in comparison to the other forms of giving thanks to Hashem, the content of bringing Bikurim and the Bikurim recitation in the recognition that from Hashem we receive all the blessings in the world. The blessing of Hashem gives a Jew the abundance of grain and fruits in his field, which therefore he gives to Hashem from the first of his fruits of the land, from the first and best fruit of the field, and thanks Hashem, and it's not ungrateful for the fruits of Hashem, and is not ungrateful for the fruits of Hashem. Blessed be he with all his kindness, the kindness of Hashem. And you shall answer and say before Hashem your God, he should relate the kindness of Hashem upon us and upon the entire Jewish nation in general, and feeling of gratitude to Hashem for all his kindness, and therefore saying thanks and giving praise to Hashem in general concept in a life of a Jew, beginning immediately with one arises from his sleep, through recognizing and declaring Modani v'lechanecha, I am thankful before you for returning my soul into me. And this is the foundation, the gate to his service of Hashem, which is continued in the blessing and prayer. We thank you for our life, which is placed in your hands, and your wonders and goodness at all time, evening, morning and light, morning and night, evening, morning and afternoon, and in the numerous brachas, Hainenu, blessing for pleasure, which a Jew blesses and thanks Hashem throughout the whole day, every day, for every good and pleasure that he receives, including and mainly the blessing after the meals, which is a biblical obligation, who provides sustenance to the entire world with goodness, favor, kindness, and mercy. Furthermore, even among the nations of the world who believe and recognize that Hashem is the creator and conductor of the world, there is a custom to thank Hashem for giving them food. And this is even more emphasized according to the known Torah insight of the Baal Shem Tov, explained in detail by the Alter Rebbe, that the creation of the entire world is renewed every day and every moment, which is boundless kindness of Hashem and the creator of the world to every created being, which affects the created being and brings him into a deep recognition and feeling that he has all that is around him from heavens. All that is around him completely depends on the constant kindness of Hashem. In the mitzvahs of Bikurim, we find, however, an innovation in deep and more concrete expression of being thankful to Hashem. What is that? The Jew expresses his feelings of gratitude for the kindness not only in speech, rather he expresses it in an even stronger word, in action. He takes from the first of the fruits of the field and brings it into the base of Megdash. Bring it to the house of Hashem your God, to make the place that Hashem your God will choose to make his name dwelling there. And it leaves before Hashem and place it before Hashem your God. And this expresses the complete acknowledgement that the world and all that belongs to Hashem, that everything belongs to Hashem, that a Jew does not suffice with the acknowledgement that all his wealth comes to him from the kindness of Hashem. Rather, he shows with his bringing Bikurim, that also after receiving the bounty of fruit, the fruit, all of his possessions still belong to Hashem, since the world and everything that is in it belongs to Hashem, and therefore he brings the first of all of the fruit of the field, the first and best, before Hashem your God, and it remains in the possession of Hashem. And this act of bringing Bikurim before Hashem your God in a manner that it remains there permeates the one bringing the Bikurim in even deeper way, that he should realize feel how his entire being and all that is found in his possessions belongs before Hashem your God, since bringing Bikurim in action expresses this recognition not only in his thought and speech as is through giving praise in the blessing after meals, rather also in his action. This permeates his entire being and his garments to the extent that his action overtakes him in a deep way and also influences his speech. And you shall answer and say before Hashem your God that he says it loud, and you shall answer, meaning raise your voice and with joy and with this thought and intention in it. And when we say the explanation of this, our sages say that the Jewish people are called Bikurim. As the verses say, in the first fruit of the fig tree, I perceived your forefathers. The Jewish people are sacred to Hashem, the first of his grain, for just as Bikurim, an idiom of Bachar, firstborn, are the first of the fruit of the field. The Bikurim come before all others, all other tithes. Likewise, the Jewish people are the beginning of the world, proceeding higher than all that was created, and through the Jewish people preceding everything. Our sages say on the verse, in the beginning Hashem created the heavens and the earth, and all the world that was created for the Jewish people that are called the beginning of his grain. And this applies not only to the souls of the Jewish people in general above in heaven, or to the Jewish people in general below, rather to every single Jew below, men and women and children, as our sages say. Each and every one is obligated to say the world was created to me. Each and every single Jew must say the world was created for him. And just as the literal Bikurim must be brought into Jerusalem and left at the base of Mikdash before Hashem your God, likewise is also regarding the Jewish people, being that they are Bikurim of the world, and the true place of the Jew, every Jew, is before Hashem your God in the base of Mikdash, since the main and true essence of a Jew also is a soul and a body, and his godly soul, which is a portion of Hashem from above, high, literally, to the extent it is known words that Jewish people and Hashem are completely one, and therefore every Jew, whatever state he may find himself, is connected and united with Hashem, and therefore he must be also in a revealed way before Hashem your God. Lefanei, before both, it is simple meaning in the presence of close to Hashem, as well as in the deeper meaning of the idiom of Menius, the innermost. In the innermost of Hashem your God, the Jewish people and Hashem are completely one. For although the entire world is created by Hashem, nevertheless the world is created only as a means for the Jewish people that are called first, as a result does not reach the inner Lefanei with the intention of Hashem your God, whereas the Jewish people who are Bikurim first, the purpose is they themselves and all the other things are created for the Jewish people, since the Jewish people and Hashem are completely one. Therefore, they are connected to Lefanei, the innermost of Hashem, your God. And as Havaya, the name of Hashem, meaning creator, becomes Elokaha, your God, speaking to individual, not Elokim, your God, speaking to a group, your strength of your vitality, since every Jew, even when he finds himself as a soul and a body below, that he was created from the name Havaya, as he is vested in Elokaha, your strength and your vitality is on a level of Bikurim, as mentioned before, that each and every one is obligated to say the world was created for me, and we do not differentiate between one Jew and another, rather each and every one, literally each and every person that is on a low level externally is obligated to say the world was created for me. From this it's understood that the fact that a Jew is before Hashem your God must permeate the entire life of a Jew in general, and also in its details. A Jew must feel that every detail of his life is part of Bikurim for Hashem, not only when he is occupied in godly manners, Torah study, and the fulfillment of mitzvahs, rather even when he is occupied with the mundane things of livelihood and the like. Indeed, being that they are the mundane matters of a Jew, they are also part of the phenomenon of Bikurim, and as a result they must permeate with the fullest and highest amount of loftiest and holiness, as befitting something that is done before Hashem your God. And even regarding a mere one thought, speech, or action, which seems insignificant in comparison to other thought, speech, or action, nevertheless, being a thought, a speech, or an action of a Jew is part of Bikurim, which belong to the base of Mikdash before Hashem your God. And the explanation of this, as mentioned before, being that it is part of a Jew's life, and a Jew is completely one with Hashem, and he is not the means for another thing, rather the intention and goal is in himself, It is understood that likewise it's true regarding the details of life, that even details that a Jew does, every thought, speech, or action of his, and in every moment in time or point in space in which he finds himself, even a single and every 1 minute, relatively speaking, is Bikurim, which are before Hashem your God in the base of Mikdash, the sanctuary of your hands, O Hashem, established. And also in this moment and this place, even if it's something temporary, he has an obligation to say, for me the entire world was created, since everything was created for the service of a Jew in thought, speech, and action in the particular time or in the particular place, as is known that the steps of man are established by Hashem. Similarly, the sanctuary of your hands, O Hashem, established, to the extent that a Jew has the power and authority to accomplish a change and revelation in the realms of time and place. And the Jewish people sanctify the times. And likewise regarding sanctifying a place through building a shul and the like. Based on this, we can understand the innovation of the mitzvah of Bikurim in comparison to the other ways of thanking and praising Hashem. The deeper content of Bikurim, namely bringing out the true essence of a Jew, is one thing with Hashem, and therefore all the other details are before Hashem your God, reflects itself in the phenomenon of the mitzvah of Bikurim in the simple sense through the Jewish people, that is not only an offering of thanks and speech, rather also in action. We bring the physical fruits before Hashem your God, and they remain in a possession of Hashem. The physical fruits become holiness, and this overtakes the Jew who is bringing the Bikurim expressed in thought, speech, and action, that he, the Jew, becomes the declarer, the source, who says and sings the praise of Hashem. And you should answer and say before Hashem your God and all those around him, including the Kohanim that will be in those times, and also Hashem himself, so to say, stand and listen to what he is saying. Not only is the relationship of a creator and creation, for the creation thanks Hashem for bestowing vitality and kindness. However, the creator and the creation remain two separate things, as mentioned above. Through the fulfillment of the mitzvah of the Bikurim, we reveal below in this lower world that the Jewish people as souls and bodies are Bikurim, first of the entire world, for whom the entire world was created. From this it can understand the all-embracing concept of the mitzvah of Bikurim, which connects it to all Torah and mitzvahs in general. Bikurim expresses the goal of the fulfillment of the entire Torah and mitzvahs, that a Jew also, he is a soul and a body in this physical world, should be openly in a state of being Bikurim, first of the entire world, since he has one thing with Hashem before Hashem your God. The Jewish people and Hashem are completely one. Furthermore and deeper, the fact that the Jewish people are Bikurim, the thought of the Jewish people preceded everything, is even regarding Torah. For although Bereshis, base Reshis, 2 first, the world was created for the Torah, that is called the beginning of his ways, and the Jewish people are called the first of his grain. 2 things that preceded the world, Torah and the Jewish people, and I do not know which came first. Nevertheless, when he says, command the Jewish people, speak to the Jewish people, I know that the Jewish people came first, being that the entire Torah is commands to the Jewish people. And the meaning of this, however, not that the Jewish people, as they proceeded, that they are higher than the Torah, have no connection, heaven forbid, with the Torah, as understood from itself, that the one word Bereshit includes 2 fruits in the Torah and the Jewish people. In other words, although it is a revealed sense, Torah and the Jewish people are 2 things, nevertheless in truth and in essence they are one thing. The Jewish people are connected to the Torah. They, the words of the Torah, are our life and our length and our days, and the Torah is connected to the Jewish people. The entire Torah is commands to the Jewish people, and the meaning of the Jewish people preceded the Torah is similar to the cause and effect, so to say. Torah was given because of the Jewish people, command to the Jewish people, and therefore saving a life overrides the entire Torah, and not the opposite. The fulfillment of the Torah is not possible without the Jewish people. It is necessary to have the Jewish people who will accept and fulfill the Torah, which is an inheritance for the congregation of Yaakov, whereas the existence of the Jewish people is possible even if a person transgresses Torah and mitzvahs, heaven forbid. As the words of our sages, although he sinned, he is still a Jew, since the Jewish people are higher than Torah, as this expresses itself in a clear way in the phenomenon of tshuva, return to Hashem, that even one who transgressed, heaven forbid, the Torah can do his soul. Heaven forbid the Torah can do tshuva, since his soul reaches a place that is higher than Torah, as known regarding that they asked the Torah, they asked Hashem, and he said, do tshuva, and he will be forgiven. However, since Torah comes together with the Jewish people two first only, that within this itself the Jewish people proceeded. It is understood that the essence of the Jewish people in connection to the Torah, since the Jewish people are connected to the essence of Hashem and therefore also to his blessed wisdom and will, Torah, which is completely one with Hashem, and therefore the existence of the Jewish people itself being one with Hashem, brings a Jew to fulfill the Torah actually and clearly, as the ruling of the Rambam, that the inner desire of a Jew, even in a state that his evil inclination attacks him, is always to fulfill the will of Hashem. He wants to be a Jew, and he wants to do all the mitzvahs and distance himself from transgression. Only that usually this itself, that the Jewish people preceded Torah, is revealed in a clear way through Torah, since according to the order of the service of the usual manner, as it ought to be from the perspective of the person goes into the straight path, a Jew must learn Torah and fulfill mitzvahs, and through this the virtue of the Jewish people is revealed. However, also without this, it is possible that the essence of the Jewish people should be revealed, as they are above the Torah, as expressed itself in the service of tshuva as mentioned above. And the explanation of this regarding the wording, 3 knots are tied with each other, Hashem and the Torah and the Jewish people. There is a known question: 3 things connect the 2 knots. Why does it say 3 knots? And the explanation of this is, in addition to the connection of the Jewish people to Hashem, which is accomplished through Torah, there is also a third connection between the Jewish people and Hashem, as the Jewish people are higher than Torah, and even more so, they connect the Torah to Hashem, who is higher than Torah. Meaning, within a Jew there are 2 levels. The soul of the Jewish people descend below in a body into this physical world, where they are literal created existence, which due to the concealment of the world, their connection to Hashem is not clearly evident, and therefore we must reveal it through the Torah, which even has descended below, and it's clearly evident that the Torah and Hashem are completely one, and through this the connection of the Jewish people to the Torah, the existence, or the essence rather, of the Jewish people is revealed, as the Jewish people and Hashem are completely one, as they proceed and are higher than Torah, and therefore the Jewish people have the power to contribute to the Torah, including that they connect the Torah to Hashem, who is above the Torah, as mentioned above. And we may say that since the Jewish people, even they find themselves below, they are Bikurim before Hashem, your God. Therefore, even as they are below the essence of the Jewish people, as they are higher than the Torah is present and expresses itself in the revealed way in the phenomena of tshuva, as mentioned above, and as it is understood also from the aforementioned words of our sages, that each and every one is obligated to say the world was created for me, which obviously includes each and every Jew, and Haaretz, ignorant one who does not have a revealed connection to Torah, as alluded to in the words of our sages, even at the level of the world was created, which is preceding the giving of the Torah, and before the command to study the Torah, there is the obligation to say the world was created for me. And we say that the expresses itself actually regarding a Jewish infant and small child before he begins to speak and is capable of studying Torah in a revealed way, and likewise a child is a child in knowledge who does not yet have a revealed connection to Torah, not only by his fault, heaven forbid, rather an infant that was captured and raised among non-Jews, that since Hashem placed him in the environment that is not his fault, therefore all he does not yet have a revealed connection to the Torah. Also, he is on the level of Bikurim, who belongs before Hashem your God, who precedes and is higher than all the matters of the world, and even precedes Torah, and all the matters were created for him. In other words, in the actual service of Hashem, there are 2 matters. Usually the connection of the Jewish people and Hashem is through the Torah, which therefore Torah study is equal to all of them. It is a constant obligation upon every Jew to study Torah in every free moment, since his entire creation is dependent on him. And regarding, however, who is in a state not due to his fault, but he does not yet have a revealed connection to Torah, the concept of Bikurim applies to him, that for him everything was created. What more, this itself brings him to Torah, as mentioned above. And when we say that the all-embracing concept of the mitzvah of Bikurim, revealing the virtue of the Jewish people, Bikurim, even in the physical world, including their virtue in the preceding Torah, is expressed also in the Bikurim resuscitation in the passage that the one bringing the Bikurim says, "You shall answer and say before Hashem your God, Aramai tried to destroy my father, and he went down to Egypt, and Hashem took us out of Egypt and gave us this land," which this, the descendant of Yaakov to Egypt, and the exodus from Egypt, and the entirety in the entry into the land of Israel are general manners connected to the Jewish people in all the generations. The content of the resuscitation is that although Arami tried to destroy my father, Yaakov was by Laban, and Laban desired to uproot everything when he ran after Yaakov. And also others came upon this to annihilate us, and he descended to Egypt, and he settled there together with a small amount of people, with 70 people, which all of this was before the giving of the Torah. Nevertheless, not only did this not, heaven forbid, negatively affect Yaakov and his children, rather, on the contrary, they became a great and strong nation there, both in quantity as well as quality, being already in the time of Yaakov, who merited that all his children were complete, to the extent that when Yaakov was uncertain about his children, told him, "Hear Yisrael, Yaakov, our forefather, Hashem, our God. Hashem is one, just as in your heart there is only one way, there is only one, so too we have in our hearts only one." Thereafter Yaakov, our forefather, responded, and he said, "Blessed is the name of the honorable majesty forever and ever." And even when they were in Egypt, nevertheless we have in our hearts the one, the true complete union with Hashem before Hashem your God. Hashem took us out of Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, with true awesomeness, signs and wonders, including, and he brought us up to the place and gave us the land, a land that flows with milk and honey. He chose the Jewish people as Bikurim of the entire world, and therefore the Jewish people bring a portion for a portion, the first fruit of the land that Hashem gave me, and the place it before Hashem your God, which this shows the Jewish people also before the giving of the Torah, before they received a revealed connection to Torah below, are on a level of Bikurim that preceded everything, even Torah, and this is revealed through the phenomenon that they became a great and strong nation over there, and afterward Hashem took us out of Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm and true awesomeness, signs and wonders, including, and he brought us to the place and he gave us this land, a land that flows with milk and honey. Based on this, we will also truly appreciate the law regarding Bikurim, that Bikurim must be brought in a vessel, as the verse says, "And you shall place it in a blanket." More specifically, the law is that if you brought them in a metal vessel, as was the custom to the rich people, that they brought the Bikurim in baskets of silver and baskets of gold, and the Kohanim takes the Bikurim, and the vessel is returned to the owner. And if he has brought them in a straw basket or the like, as the custom of the poor people, the Bikurim in the basket go to the Kohanim. And the complete revelation of the virtue of the Jewish people as Bikurim is that also when they are in a vessel, a soul in the vessel of a limited body, including even in a poor person vessel, poverty is only in knowledge, it is evident that they are Bikurim. What more, Bikurim must be brought in a vessel. Bikurim comes before Hashem your God specifically through a vessel, due to the extent that specifically a vessel made of very simple things of the lower world, of which there is no lower than it, becomes one with the Bikurim, such that the Bikurim and the baskets go to the Kohanim, that also the vessel itself becomes a level before Hashem your God. And furthermore, through this is accomplished that there should be the phenomenon of the place of Taneh, basket, Sene, Ane, Taneh, basket, Aleph Nun Tet, acronym of Tamimi, musical notes, Nakudos, vowels, and Osis, letters, that we have the completeness of Torah not only in the letters and vowels of the Torah, rather also in the musical notes, and in the manner of you shall place the Bikurim into the tenet, that the Jew puts himself in an internalized way into the musical notes, vowels, and letters of Torah. Based on the above, we understand in great depth the connection of the mitzvah of Bikurim to the continuation of the Parsha. In discussing the covenant regarding the Torah and the mitzvahs in general, in addition to what was explained earlier, that Bikurim expresses the content of all the Torahs and the mitzvahs. Bikurim, the essential quality of the Jewish people, that they precede the Torah, is in the beginning and the foundation of all Torah and mitzvahs, due to the fact that the Jewish people and Hashem are completely one. Hashem makes a covenant in the first place with the Jewish people that unites Hashem and the Jewish people as the unity of the two parts of the split animal in the covenant in a clearly revealed way. Also below, which this is actualized and revealed through the guarding of the words of the covenant that the Jewish people accept upon themselves, and the fulfillment of Torah and mitzvahs of Hashem. Today Hashem, your God, commands you to do these statutes and laws, and you shall guard them, to do them all your heart and your soul, in a manner that this takes him over completely, as such that we see clearly in the world that Hashem signals you out today to bring a precious nation for him, and to place you above all the nations that he made for praise, significance, and splendor. With this, we will also understand more in detail the connection of the Bikurim to the expression of the Rashi on the verse, today Hashem your God commands you. Every day it should be anew in your eyes, as if that very day you were commanded them. We spoke earlier that since the purpose of the Jewish people being Bikurim is that they themselves and all were created for them, therefore it's understood that in every detail in the life of a Jew, even a person that is not yet have a revealed connection to Torah, every moment in time, every point in space, every single thought, speech, or action has a purpose in itself, and is not all a means to another thing, meaning that it's completely new thing due to the purpose that the details in itself, regarding which there is an obligation to say, for me the details in the world were created, meaning that everything in the world, all moments in time, are included in this one moment. For this it's understood that the power of the accomplishment that every day Torah and mitzvah should be new in your eyes, although one did this service already in the past, comes specifically from the Jew Bikurim, since regarding all matters of the world, being that they are not a purpose for themselves, rather a meanings for something else, for the Jewish people and for the Torah, there can be a day and most certainly a moment in time that is a continuation of the service of the day before the preparation and means of the following day. Specifically, the Jewish people have the power to accomplish that every day it should be anew in your eyes, a true renewal, similar to the renewal every day and every moment of the creation, from nothing to something through Hashem himself. Moreover, every day, which includes also every moment as such, that his new moment becomes a new beginning in one's service in Torah and mitzvahs, which include in it all the moments until the end and culmination of his service, similar to how specifically the Jewish people have the power to innovate new Torah insights in the Torah itself, since they preceded it, including also accomplishing an innovation in the one studying Torah himself, that he becomes like a new person literally through the Torah study, and every day and every moment in a new way. With this, we also understand the explanation of the name of the Parshas Savo. Although Savo enter the land in a preparation and introduction for the fulfillment of the mitzvah upon entering the land of Eretz Yisrael, nevertheless, being that it is the action and order of the service of a Jew, it enter has a purpose in itself, in addition to the fact that is an introduction to what comes after it, which includes in this detail all aspects of the service. And this is also the content of the word Savo itself, even at the beginning of the service of a person, when he is merely at the stage of entering. Even before he fulfills the mitzvah, he must enter Savo into this in a complete way, knowing that Savo itself is what the entire service is at this moment, which includes that gives the power to do the service that is after this, and you will conquer it and settle in it. And the mitzvah of bringing the Bikurim and reciting the Bikurim resuscitation, including the fulfillment of the covenant in general in the continuation of the Parsha. And so to add that the name of the Parsha, Savo, denotes that the Savo, enter, is a certainty, is not speaking about the command to enter the land of Israel. The key when denotes the order in which this will take place, namely that certainly it will be fulfilled that you will enter the land and you will conquer and settle it in the manner of, and it will be when you will enter, whereas it says it means immediately, including immediately we will fulfill the mitzvah of Bikurim. In the month of Elul, spoken above is special, the spoken above has a special connection to the month of Elul when we make a righteous accounting for our service of the past year as a preparation for the coming year. The month of Elul, an acronym of the Hebrew word for I am for my beloved and my beloved is for me, is a time when every Jew feels close to Hashem and is a closeness that is connected to love, as emphasized in the expression below, and as the known analogy of the Alter Rebbe that the month of Elul, Hashem is like a king in a field, and at the time whoever wants to greet him has the permission, can do so, and he receives them with a pleasant smile and shows a joyous face to all of them. Moreover, every person can ask from him all they need. Hence the content of Bikurim is even more emphasized, namely the unity of the Jewish people with Hashem, including with the closeness and love of my beloved, because of the preciousness of the Jewish people to Hashem, and there is no condition for this. One must be a Torah scholar, or one must study Torah, or one fulfills the mitzvah. Rather, whoever wants can greet him, and he receives them with a pleasant face, which this emphasizes the essential quality of the Jewish people being the first of the produce of Hashem. Indeed, they are united with him with a deep love, notwithstanding their state as it may see. And this is emphasized even more in the fact that I am for my beloved and my beloved is for me. An acronym of Elul means that I, the essential existence of a Jew, as he is a state of I, his existence is whatever state he might be in, is drawn and connects from this own initiative, an arousal from below to my beloved Hashem, and specifically this, the I am for my beloved, brings afterward also the phenomenon of and my beloved is for me, the connection of love Hashem to the Jewish people, as the verse says, as with water reflects waves, so too the heart of one person to another, literally the heart of man to man, although the fact that the heart of man below yearns with love for the supernal man Hashem, I am for my beloved, this brings afterward the phenomenon, and my beloved is for me, of the heart of the supernal man to man below. And when we say that the fact that a Jew, as he is an I, has power to accomplish this, including to arouse the phenomenon of and my beloved is for me, expresses his power that he is Bikurim, standing before Hashem your God. The Jewish people and Hashem are completely one, in an order that it not be bread of shame unearthed. It is revealed through the Jew being below in a world which conceals his open connection to Hashem, so that he through his service I should reveal this, including that this brings a perfection in the fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs, alluding to the 5 acronyms of Elul, which corresponds to Torah, prayer, acts of kindness, tshuva, and redemption, as spoken in previous days, is alluded to in the word of love, heart, where the love of my beloved, love, heart of one to another is, which has the numerical value of 22 plus 10, and we must say that this corresponds to the 22 letters of the Torah that are revealed through the 10 cell powers of the Jew, which through this they make up together Lev, which is 32. The Jewish people and the Torah and Hashem are completely one, which then there is the complete revelation of the unity of the heart of one to another. I am for my beloved and my beloved is for me. From this we take the following practical lessons regarding the righteous accounting that every person must make in the month of Elul for the service of the year before, in order to perfect and make up for what was lacking or was not done in a complete manner, as well as the appropriate preparations for the service of the coming year, contemplating on the fact that every Jew is Bikurim and must be brought before Hashem your God in the Beit HaMikdash, and the most permanent, that his entire life also is mundane matters, not only Shabbos and holidays, not only in the month of Elul and Tishrei, which is full of holidays, rather through the entire year. He has understood how much he must be careful in everything he does, even when only a single thought, speech, or action, which seemingly insignificant is comparison to all other thought, speech, or action. However, upon sufficiently contemplating on the fact that through this thought, speech, or action, and the part of Bikurim that he has brought into the base of Mikdash before Hashem your God, and the Kohen that will be in those days scrutinizes his every moment, he will certainly put the effort and guarantee that every minute, every minute thing, every small detail of his conduct should be done with the utmost care. If this is so on all days of the year, how much more so must he be responsible and cautious together with the merit in the month of Elul, the month of evaluation in the entire year, the month of preparation for the entire coming year, especially in the last 12 days of the month of Elul, which correspond to the 12 months of the year. Each day corresponds to 1 month. It is even more understood how much more one must value each and every moment of the day corresponding to the entire month in making the true soul search and preparation for the coming year. Especially that in addition to the auspicious month of Elul in the year 5751, whose Hebrew letters are the acronym of the Hebrew word, meaning it shall be a year in which I will show them wonders, and in preparation for the year 5752, an acronym for it shall be a year of wonders in everything, and we may add that is also an acronym of wonders of understanding, with the virtue that Bina, understanding, has over Chachma, wisdom, seeing I will show them, and the union of both as one, understanding with wisdom and becoming wise with understanding, as explained in many places. And in addition to one's own service in the above, one must see to it to influence other Jewish people around him, and they should do their service in a complete manner in the month of Elul, in the days of Slichos, and afterwards in the month of Tishrei. Furthermore, and mainly to arouse again regarding the efforts to provide the Sukkot holiday necessary to all those that need it, and before this, the necessities for Rosh Hashanah, eat fatty foods and drink sweet wines, and send portions to one who does not have, and the likewise in the day in between, as well as throughout the entire month of Tishrei. And in all the above mentioned, there is a special lesson regarding redemption, which must come literally immediately according to all the signs. The ultimate entering the land and fulfilling the mitzvah of Bikurim in the land in the literal sense will be a true and complete redemption, like when we left the land of Egypt, as is discussed in the passage of Bikurim, being that this is the most important and timely manner, since according to all signs the redemption should have come already a while ago. It is understood that the action of you should a while ago. The redemption should have, being that this is the most important and timely manner, since according to all signs the redemption should have come already a while ago. It is understood that the action of you should answer and say before Hashem your God, especially in the month of Elul, when whoever wants to greet him has permission to do, and he receives all of them with a pleasant smile and draws a joyous face to all of them. There must especially be a request in the lifted voice, until when it should already be the redemption in a literal sense, and being that the answer and say comes from a Jew who is Bikurim for Hashem, completely one with Hashem, and answers and say is said before Hashem your God, including also in the meaning of Lefenei Pimenius, as mentioned above. It is understood that the answer and say has in its power to bring the redemption in a literal sense, just as we scream out to Hashem in the Egyptian exile, and Hashem heard our voices, and he took us out with a strong hand, and he brought us, and he gave us the land. Moreover, before they call out, and I will answer, being that there is a person to do the action of calling out, a Jew, and he is in a state of they will call out. Hashem does not wait until there is an actual outcry, rather before they call out, and I will answer. Although there is a known saying of our Rebbes, our leaders, which was printed and publicized not with our will did we go into exile, and not with our will did we go out of exile, rather with the will of Hashem. This is, however, speaking as a Jew has his own will. Our will, which is separate, heaven forbid, from the will of Hashem in the physical world, in worldly manners, however, as a Jew in a state of being one with Hashem, and especially in the month of Elul, when there is a state of I am for my beloved and my beloved is for me, he does not have his own will. Rather, in the words of the Mishnah, make his will your will, in order that he will make your will his will. And the will of Hashem is the will of a Jew, and the will of a Jew is the will of Hashem. A Jew has in his power to accomplish that Hashem should nullify the exile and bring the redemption literally immediately. And the concept of exile has no connection at all to a Jew, since the place of a Jew is at his father's table before Hashem your God in the Beis Hamikdash, and the fact that Hashem made an exile is in order to bring about the service of a Jew, to reveal in the world that the Bikurim for Hashem and that the Jewish people and Hashem are completely one, and through this immediately nullify the exile and take out all the good and lofty matters that there is in exile, including to transform Gola, exile, into Gula, redemption, through revealing the Aleph of Alufo Sha'olam, Master of the Universe, the intention of Hashem in exile, the virtue of tshuva which comes through the descent into exile. And although it is written that if a person says, I will sin and do tshuva, he is not given a chance to do tshuva. However, Hashem sent the Jewish people in exile, not without will did we go into exile as mentioned above, only it came about through the awesome one. Hashem devised a plan for the Jewish people only in order to raise the Jewish people into a higher level. Hence, through the answer and say of a Jew, he has the ability to nullify the temporary concealment and descent of exile and insert the Aleph, Alof, Shalolam, Master of the world, into revealing it and the true and complete redemption. And may it be the will of Hashem that through the answering and saying of a Jew that he begs and cries out to Hashem, please have mercy and take the Jewish people out of exile already, and already brings the true and complete redemption through Mashiach. And may it be the will that it should be accomplished its goal, that this should accomplish its goal and bring the redemption literally immediately, and all the Jewish people and every Jew go and come to the land that Hashem your God gives and an inheritance, and you shall conquer it and settle it, and you shall take for the first of the fruit of the field, and you shall answer and you shall say, it should be literally immediately. Thank you for watching. Chag Sameach, Zayga Bench, Siman Siman Tova. Everyone should be written and sealed in the book of life. Thank you for watching another episode of Devar Malchus. Zai Gazut.